This video was filmed at a hospital in Wuhan, the center of the coronavirus epidemic.
当殡仪馆这里面尸袋，刚才我照给你们看了，现在又多了。刚才3个，现在我数一下啊，尸袋，1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8，有8个。
And this is footage of a hospital under construction.
这并不适合传染病人居住。
Behind the camera are 2 vloggers who have become sensations in China. Fang Bin is a resident of Wuhan, and Chen Shexie, a human rights lawyer. The 2 vloggers, who are known in China as citizen journalists, published unfiltered video reports as the crisis unfolded in late January and early February, scenes that haven't appeared in China's tightly controlled state media.
大家一定要行动起来，要传播。
But they stopped posting videos in early February. Fellow activists and relatives said they have disappeared.
帮我个忙，帮我找找秋实。
Chen's mother posted a video saying she wasn't able to contact her son. According to a friend, the police told Chen's father that his son was held in quarantine. Activists say neighbors of Fang saw uniformed and plainclothes police officers take him away. The activists haven't seen him since. Even if their images were only available online for days or even hours, China experts say it is unusual for Beijing authorities to let this form of open criticism appear before censoring content or clamping down on its creators. Many citizens have spoken up, from doctors and nurses to people stuck at home and patients.
里面又没有厕所，又没有药吃。
Challenging the official narrative of hospitals being speedily built from scratch and armies of volunteers orderly working to contain the epidemic. So how are these videos critical of authorities getting out into the public? Beijing officials have said there is a genuine desire to promote accurate information about the epidemic and block false reports that could increase panic. Nonetheless, the anger in China came to a tipping point late January after people accused local authorities of trying to cover up what was happening.
People was not informed in the 3 to 4 weeks. What we have witnessed is the revolt of the Chinese people.
Bao Pu publishes books from Hong Kong on topics that are censored by Beijing. He says people grew frustrated when they saw the healthcare system was overwhelmed by the coronavirus, especially after the SARS epidemic that took nearly 800 lives in 2002 and 2003.
People generally expect the government have learned the lessons of the SARS epidemic, so they should have set up various mechanisms to prevent that from ever happening.
Pu says the speed at which the criticism piled up online might be too hard for China's censorship apparatus to manage, and that is one reason Chinese citizens have managed to share content online. Tens of millions have been stuck at home, leading to a surge in the number of people reading and using social media. Another explanation, according to researchers, might be that in this situation, Beijing needs information to keep flowing.
Because this is a health crisis, people also need to talk about supplies and access, and they need to be able to discuss this. Otherwise, they're kind of stuck at home in quarantine zone. It becomes really insufferable. So they can't completely censor all discussions.
Maria Repnikova analyzes how Beijing censors its citizens and says she believes the government intentionally opened the doors to criticism.
It's useful in some ways to learn about what's happening while it's only the early stages of the crisis. The state officials at the local central level still don't quite know what are the bigger issues, what are the big frustrations. So it's kind of a way to get public opinion on this, try to understand the grievances and then respond to them.
Repnikova has interviewed over 100 Chinese journalists and officials about big crises like mining disasters or the 2008 Sichuan earthquake. She noticed there's a limited window of opportunity for journalists to cover these events and citizens to complain. Repnikova says during the Sichuan earthquake, the government started to tape mouths shut when journalists reported that poorly built schools had contributed to the deaths of hundreds of children. In Wuhan, Fang Bin was able to publish 33 videos in 16 days on YouTube. One video he posted online shows that he had run-ins with people who identified themselves as local health officials, who wanted to check Fang's health because he had visited a hospital.
14天灯我的体温正常，你这是害别人知不知道？我的体温正常啊。那个刑法上面有一条，你别过，
Fang said the men confiscated his computer and phone, then drove him to the outskirts of the city to continue questioning him. Activists say he disappeared a week later. A Chinese diplomat was asked about Fang during a TV interview.
So I believe the relevant authorities and departments in China, the legal departments, are dealing with the case in accordance with law.
我是害怕，我前面是病毒，我后边是中国的法律和行政力量。
Authorities have made no public statement about Chen's disappearance or Fang's whereabouts. The disappearance of both men in early February happened around the time when the death toll in China came closer to surpassing the one from SARS. This is also approximately when Beijing began ramping up efforts to create a new narrative that things were under control. Even though Chinese officials have continually offered assurances that the epidemic is being successfully managed,
绝不抛弃，不放弃。大部分病人的话，情况都是在逐步的好转。
state-controlled media have now put the blame on local authorities for a slow response to contain the outbreak in Wuhan, while praising central authorities for quickly pouring resources into the center of the crisis.
In many ways, crises are also opportunities for political systems to come out as the winners or victors or, kind of as being in charge of the state of affairs.
About a month after the disappearance of Chen and Fang, health officials said the number of new infections had fallen dramatically in China. Authorities reported new infections in double digits, down from hundreds of cases a day. The outcry on Chinese social media, even if short-lived, shows that many people in the country don't buy the government's message that the crisis is under control.